It's just a cool experience to be the receiver of such a gift. Dated for like a year and then got married. And then kind of just struggled with infertility for a few years and then actually reached out to our pastor.
I mean, he was the first one that we approached and asked the question. And again, he was the one that pointed us to LFS.
We met with Carrie and saw that this can be a beautiful thing on both sides. Kind of the side of the birth mom, which always makes me super emotional. Kind of adding that component into our story is just like an added family. You know, that's when faith becomes really, really important, and I think we leaned into that together.
It's always great to be able to fall back and have that faith base that is there, that we know that we can lean on.
You know, it was definitely God's timing and not ours, and here we are. Both of our children have two very, very different adoption stories. With Ruthie's birth mom, I feel like it kind of went according to plan. So Ruthie was born in October, and we met with her birth mom in person in July, and got a phone call like after we met that night that said she chose us, which was really cool. And there was a few ups and downs in the next couple months where we thought she was going to change her mind. But in the end, she stuck with her plan and stuck with us. And I was actually able to be in the birthing room when Ruthie was born. I actually cut the cord. We still meet with her and her other children as well and her family a couple times a year and get together. And then Kelvin's story was like very unexpected.
Yeah.
We just kept our home study approved and kept on the list, and we're definitely kind of in God's timing there. I would say the wait for number 2 wasn't nearly as difficult. He was actually born on a Wednesday. We got a phone call the Thursday after at noon saying, hey, there was a baby boy born. Are you interested? We said yes. And then, you know, I think multiple other families were also said the same thing. And then by 8 o'clock on that Thursday night, we were set to meet the birth mom the next day at the hospital and pick him up. So he was very much like a total surprise out of nowhere. The birth mom, similar situation, that was younger, right? A younger birth mom. And I mean, I think they have it the hardest, you know? I don't think anyone can imagine being in that position, whatever the circumstances. But it's amazing to hear from them how blessed they feel because of their decision and because of where the children are. So I guess what I would speak to them is it's so much about love on both sides. It's not a negative, and I understand it's easier for me to say that. But it's such a gift of love on their part. And I think, God's plan is just bigger than ours. You know, I was a typical, had this vision of what it looked like to get married and, you know, have your perfect family, and this wasn't what I envisioned, you know, but it's so much more than I could have dreamt or dreamed. Just
watching them grow up has been amazing, and just forever grateful for them and for their birth moms.
A Christian adoption agency is a great way. I think that there are some birth moms that are choosing that too. I think that's really important too, to be aware of what the birth mom wants, and it very much should be, you know, offered in that way. And, you know, Christians are a community of people, and we feel strongly that we want more Christians to be made. You're adding in more people to your family of love and into the circle. And I just think that's really powerful. We love them, and they're miracles that we didn't even know existed.